All right, Cisco Live 2024. Let's go beyond. Hi, my name is Rich and welcome to the Rich Tech Guy channel. Now, I have attended Cisco Live every year that it has been held, going all the way back to 2012, with the exception of 1 year, and that was 2013. All right, so in the past couple of years, I also made videos about my experience at Cisco Live. But when it came to this year, I really thought that if I was going to do that kind of a video again, it would really look very much the same as the previous 2 years. So instead, I decided to change things up. And I'm going to do a video talking about some of the big announcements that came out of Cisco Live that really struck my attention. And I will do a quick little recap of Cisco Live at the end, just from my point of view of it. But if you do want to know what it's like to experience Cisco Live, I do encourage you to go check out my videos from the previous 2 years. I will link them in the description below and also somewhere up above. I always seem to point to the wrong direction, but the last year, 2023 Cisco Live, I'll link up there. All right, and before I get into this, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. In fact, according to YouTube analytics, 92% of you guys watching my videos are not subscribed. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And now let's get into the big overarching theme of Cisco Live, or any tech conference this year, AI. Now, if anybody at Cisco Live had a drinking game for the number of times AI was mentioned, my condolences to your liver. During Cisco Live, there were a lot, and I mean a lot, of announcements or talk about AI. Cisco also had their own AI booth in the World of Solutions. And out of all of these announcements, though, the biggest one was that Cisco was investing $1 billion. So that is a 1 followed by 9 zeros, for those of you in my international audience, in a global investment fund for the development of AI for reliable and trustworthy AI solutions. Now, the initial AI startups to receive money from this investment are Cohere, centered on security-focused large language models, Mistral AI, focused on generative AI models, and Scale AI, a data-centric end-to-end platform for training and validation of AI applications. When it comes to Cisco's product portfolio, there were 2 big focuses of their AI announcements, security and data center. So starting with security, a little over a month before Cisco Live, Cisco actually announced something called Cisco Hypershield. And this is a highly distributed cloud-native system built on AI with kernel-level visibility and hardware acceleration designed to deliver the security processes, protocols, and profiles directly to the point in the network where it can be most effective. Now, the reason for this is when MITRE publishes a vulnerability, we are starting to see it being weaponized within hours. So the attackers will take it, they develop attacks with that vulnerability, and they start launching it. And on the flip side of that, to counteract these vulnerabilities, it could take days or even weeks for the vendor with that vulnerability to produce a patch to counteract that problem. So and then when it gets to deploying this patch, you have to wait for a maintenance window. So it really comes down to how do we respond to this at the same speed that the attackers are exploiting the vulnerability? Now with Hypershield, you can deploy a compensating rule that to identify that attacks targeting those types of vulnerabilities and will stop them before they are able to get to the system or device and exploit that vulnerability. Now at Cisco Live, it was also announced that Hypershield is adding support for AMD Pensando DPUs, or data processing units, on Cisco UCS servers and also on industry standard servers. So this is going to allow Hypershield to conduct hardware acceleration for security analytics directly on servers in your on-prem environment. Now, there's likely going to be more announcements around Cisco Hypershield as it gets closer and closer to its general availability date in August of 2024. But for more information, you can check out links that I've put in the description below. So next, we come to the data center space. And the Cisco announcement around AI in the data center space was for Cisco Hyperfabric clusters with NVIDIA. Now, the Cisco Hyperfabric will enable enterprise customers to build the necessary infrastructure to support generative AI modeling and manage that through a cloud-managed platform. The Cisco Hyperfabric will be comprised of the following: new Cisco 6000 series switches to build a spine leaf topology with 400 gigabit and 800 gigabit speeds. To enable those speeds, there will be new QSFP-DD optic models, NVIDIA AI enterprise solutions to aid in developing and deploying generative AI workloads, NVIDIA NIM influence microservices to accelerate the deployment of AI models, NVIDIA Tensor Core GPUs starting with NVIDIA H200 NVL, NVIDIA Bluefield 3 DPU, or data processing units, and the Bluefield 3 Super NIC that enables hardware acceleration on AI compute, networking, and security workloads, an enterprise reference design for AI built on NVIDIA MGX, and the VAST data platform, a data-driven engine to provide the storage and functions for supporting AI. That's a lot. But with all of these announcements, Cisco has also introduced a new AI-focused certification, the Cisco CCDE, or Cisco Certified Design Expert AI Infrastructure. So the CCDE-AI. The CCDE is an expert level certification akin to the CCIE, but with a major difference, and that would be that while the CCIE focuses on the ability to deploy and manage information technology systems, the CCDE is focused on designing the underlying infrastructure supporting that the projects that the information technology systems will run on, and meeting the business needs for deployment. The CCDE AI infrastructure will help businesses find candidates who can help them build out necessary infrastructure for AI developments. This certification will focus on designing networks optimized for AI workloads, understanding GPU optimization, building the infrastructure to support high-performance generative AI models and processes, all while understanding and addressing the necessary security and compliance concerns that come with AI, and seeing that business needs are met and cost optimization is balanced with the power and performance requirements. As of the time of the announcement, the CCDE AI infrastructure will cover 4 key areas: AI, machine learning, compliance and governance, network, security, hardware, and environment. Now, the first testing opportunity for certification will be at Cisco Live in Amsterdam. That will be in February 10th through 14th, 2025. As a side note, if anybody out there is willing to fund me going out to Cisco Live Amsterdam, I would be happy to accept it. Now, even though this is an expert level certification, Cisco has provided some means for you to get started on your AI journey. If you go to Cisco U, which is u.cisco.com, I'll post the link in the description below. There are free tutorials now available on the Cisco U platform for you to watch. As I said, I'll post a link in the description below, and please go check those out. Okay, so now we've talked about data center and security, particularly in regards to AI. By the way, I'm coming back to security. We talked about a new AI certification. So what about the network? I'm pretty sure Cisco is a company that built its business around the network, and Cisco is a networking company, right? Did they have any announcements around the network? Well, they did, and their big announcement was something called Digital Experience Assurance. Now, what Digital Experience Assurance is it is a new solution powered by Thousand Eyes that allows customers to see what is going on not just in their local area network or in the wide area network, but also in places like their cloud provider's network. And Cisco coined a new term for this called the Global Area Network. So get ready for a new acronym, the GAN, to show up in certification exams like within a year or so. Though I'm kind of half kidding, but it wouldn't surprise me if it does happen. But what this global area network and this digital experience assurance does is it gives customers the ability to access data across both their owned environments and their unowned environments, where they are relying on that network for their apps or for the data that their apps are utilizing in order to function. And this can create a unified view where customers can unlock and explore insights and create a complete view of those networks that they rely on. Now, this includes features like Thousand Eyes Cloud Insights, where customers can have end-to-end visibility into the public cloud environments like AWS. And this would include service connectivity, configuration changes, and traffic characteristics. Now, also included in this announcement is that Thousand Eyes Endpoint Experience is going to be able to connect to Meraki Wi-Fi and local area network telemetry information. And this extended visibility across public cloud and local LAN allows customers to shift from a reactive approach regarding network bottlenecks and internet outages towards a more proactive approach to reroute the traffic around these problems wherever they may be. From a security standpoint, Cisco emphasized digital resilience, which means protecting your organization from any kind of risk that it faces digitally or online. Now, when we're talking about the modern security threats that organizations are facing, the data you have and the ability to get value from that data can make the difference between being breached or stopping the attack. I've got a few videos talking about cybersecurity, and more will be coming to the channel. I'll link to one up above and also to them down below. And I encourage you to please check those videos out. But coming back to this topic, firewall logs are not enough. They're only getting data from a single point on the network. And what happens if the attackers get past the firewall and they start to move laterally through your network? Now, this past year, Cisco acquired Splunk, and the joining of Cisco Security portfolio with the data analytics of Splunk, you will be able to look across the data that you have, whether on-prem, cloud, or wherever that data may reside. And the combination of Cisco Hypershield and Splunk will allow you to take the analytics to the data and create a SOC platform for the future. So through the integration of Cisco XDR and Splunk Enterprise Security, there is a complete solution for threat detection, investigation, and response, TDIR. According to Gartner, the Splunk ES SIEM solution has been the leader for the past 9 years. However, as a SIEM solution, it was missing the analytics on the network, endpoint, and cloud telemetry unless that data was put inside the SIEM solution, which is really, it didn't belong there. So now with the integration of Cisco XDR, those analytics are handled by Cisco XDR, and any detection resulting from the data is sent to the SIEM. SOC teams will be able to see the detections with the necessary context to make operational decisions, and the Splunk SIEM doesn't need to process high-volume telemetry data that could slow down its performance. And to further enhance Cisco XDR, it can now receive data from Meraki MX devices, With this integration of Meraki MX and XDR, network teams will be able to see XDR incidents on the Meraki dashboard. Now, outside of XDR, one of the things that stood out to me was Cisco's involvement with an open ecosystem. As Jeetu Patel, the Executive Vice President and General Manager of Cisco Security and Collaborations, put it during the keynote address, the true enemy in security is the adversary and not my competitor. You are not going to use 100% Cisco products for your security. And in fact, I would even recommend against you using that or using 100% from any vendor for security. First of all, if you use just one vendor, you will likely have gaps in your security environment. And this holds true even with a vendor like Cisco, who has a very broad security portfolio. The second reason is if a vulnerability is discovered with a particular vendor's products or solutions, and you are only using that vendor for your security, your infrastructure will be completely compromised. It would not be a matter of if, it would be a matter of when. So going back to Cisco's ecosystem announcements, the first was with Microsoft, where Cisco and Microsoft are collaborating on Gen AI solutions for security. This also brings me to another part of my attendance at Cisco Live. While I was there, I had the opportunity to attend a Q&A session with Chuck Robbins and his executive leadership team. And while in that session, I specifically called out or asked a question challenging that AI could become a sort of a crux or something that people would rely on too much. And that would make it more of a curse than a blessing. Specifically, I called out how AI relies on data that is fed to it, and that can really lead to a sort of a binocular vision where what you are looking at, you see really well, but you're going to miss what is out on the edges of that. You're not going to see what you're not looking at, of course. Chuck Robbins flipped over to Jeetu. And Jeetu responded to my question by stating that, first of all, Cisco is not going to just hand the keys over to AI and say, here you go, you're in charge of my infrastructure. He emphasized that the human must remain in the loop and that AI is a tool to help the human. And that is the attitude that we must have with AI going forward. It is also that as Cisco is working with companies like Scale AI, there is a drive to prevent AI hallucinations based on possible bias or missing or incomplete data, as that would be a disaster in the security space. Also, in Cisco's commitment to the open ecosystem, getting back to that open ecosystem, it was announced that Cisco is working with Google to build a secure Chrome for enterprise browsing. The secure browsing with Chrome Enterprise will also be completely integrated into secure access. All right, so after all of these big announcements that went through, and I've only touched some of the big ones, there were a lot more announcements out there. But what are my thoughts around Cisco Live 2024? Yeah, Cisco AI 2024. AI was such a huge component of it. Why don't we call it that too? Now, in regards to AI, though, I kind of look at the Gartner hype curve, and AI would be right about there. So there's a bit of a roller coaster ride for AI in terms of where it's currently sitting on the hype. And yes, going into something like ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot or any of these generative AI type tools can be a lot of fun to play around with. I myself have done it a little bit as well. But we have to be mindful of the fact that we need to utilize this more as a tool and not allow it to become a crux or a burden. Chuck Robbins even referenced AI as being both a blessing and a curse, and I wholeheartedly agree with that statement. So, as it was mentioned earlier, AI, based off of the data it has, there is the challenge of what is called AI hallucinations, okay? AI hallucinations can be great if you want to go to ChatGPT and ask it to write an ode to Cisco and Cisco networking solutions. But on the other hand, if you're utilizing it to make sure your infrastructure that your business is relying on, that your company's business is relying on, that can be really bad for AI hallucinations to happen. And in terms of security space, it can be an absolute disaster. So also at AI, one of the things that I participated in for the first time, or not AI, for Cisco Live. Again, AI is such a big thing. For Cisco Live, one of the things I participated in for the first time really was Capture the Flag Labs. And it was kind of interesting to play around with that. Had a lot of fun with it. And if you are at Cisco Live, I actually do highly encourage you to do that. It creates a great learning tool. So please go and check that out at future Cisco Lives. Not only that, but you can even earn Cisco learning credits for Cisco certifications. Now you can get those learning credits for Cisco certifications at Cisco Live by attending sessions. I actually built it out to where I am now 4 CE or continuing education credits away from renewing my CCIE. And by the way, I've got a video about that, and I'll link to it up above in the description down below. There are some things that are different. In that video, I walk through the process for registering your learning credits. You don't have to do that anymore. It's now 100% automated. But still, I'll tell you that 90% of the content in that video is still valid. So please, if you're interested in using learning credits to increase or renew your certification, you can't increase it. You have to do that through a certification test. But to renew a certification, go ahead and check out that video. Anyways, utilizing the Capture the Flag, it was a fun way to try to earn some learning credits to get myself a CCIE renewal. Also through attending the sessions at Cisco Live, the technical breakout sessions, was able to do that. Learned a lot of great content at the sessions that I attended. And then, it was a lot of, as I said, a big thematic view around Cisco AI this year. Of course, AI was big. The acquisition of Splunk, that was huge. So there was a new Cisco Security Solutions booth at Cisco Live where Splunk was a big feature of that. And then, let's not forget, Cisco Live caps everything off with a great customer celebration event. And this year, it was Elton John performing. Despite the fact that last July, he basically said he was done doing tours, but he did decide to play for Cisco Live. So that was an absolutely wonderful experience that evening. Not something that I saw on my 2020 radar. Now, if you watched my video on Cisco Live 2023 for last year, I did make the comment at the end of the video as I was summarizing my thoughts there about how there's so much to take in at Cisco Live and it's very easy to get overwhelmed. So this year was, of course, no different. And there were a lot of big announcements at Cisco Live. So were you there at Cisco Live or were you watching online? If so, go ahead and comment down below. Also, what were the announcements that really excite or interest you from Cisco Live this year? Or were there any other announcements I didn't talk about in this video that you thought were interesting? Again, go ahead and comment down below. As for what I did talk about, I will post links to more content regarding those announcements so that you can further check those out. And also, if you're starting or you're growing your career in tech, I do encourage you to subscribe to my channel. You've made it to the end of the video, but I'm also including some links down below for some resources that can help you to learn and grow in the field of computer networking and cybersecurity type solutions and data center and all that great stuff. So please go ahead and check out those links. They are affiliate links. And again, you've made it to the end of the video. Go ahead and hit that like button. As I said at the beginning, 92% of you who are watching my videos aren't subscribed. So go ahead and hit subscribe as well. And with that, keep learning, keep studying, keep improving, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.